could you just brief me about your tech profile? I mean, the technology stack,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want like what old technology you have worked, and I mean, in your recent projects or the work you have done. So I just
Mm-hmm.
need the technology which you have actually used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and rate them like out of 10. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say if it's core Java or DB, just
Mm-hmm.
rate them uh, out of 10. Let's say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let me just think start with core Java.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know? I mean, what are the basic design principles of OOPs which we normally take care when, let's say, we need to design an application, and I mean there should be some basic things or guidelines
Mm-hmm.
which we need to follow.
Mm-hmm. So like you are trying to know OOPS principle, right?
Yeah.
OOPS principles, we have abstraction, we have encapsulation, we have inheritance, we have polymorphism. Apart from that, if we talk about design principles like that, we have solid, we can say solid design pattern, that is segregation of
Mm-hmm. So solid, what solid means actually.
solid means like it is a combination of some we can say guidelines which helps in development of application, which will be less coupled, and maintenance of that application will be easy.
Okay, so you have pen and paper with you?
Come again?
Do you have pen and paper with you right now?
Yeah, 1 second. I will take out my pen. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just giving you a small use case. So what I'm having a loan on application. Okay, and
Sorry.
in which
We have
I have a loan application.
loan application. Okay.
Yeah, and in loan application that I'm having in current date, I'm having a personal loan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a home loan. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm having a car loan.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So currently there is a third party user or third party application
Mm-hmm.
which normally calls our loan application for calculating the EMI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while I mean requesting for the EMI, the third party client gives three things. One is amount of loan,
Mm-hmm.
second is type of loan,
Mm-hmm.
and third is tenure of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and based on these parameters, my application calculates the EMI because there are different calculations for all the types of loans.
Okay.
It returns the EMI amount.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, first I want, I mean, could you please just tell me or, I mean, draw a high level class or interface diagram? I mean, what all classes you will include for this and what will be there? I'm not actually concerned about the internal implementation, just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the interaction of classes and interfaces for this.
Mm-hmm. So means you're asking me to design what are the services and what are the DAO and these implementation classes will be there.
Yeah, yeah. So just I mean, the interfaces classes and the methods you will have for this particular class.
So see, first for bean class, like to store the particular loan related data, we can design uh, we can take a loan as a base class. Means whatever common functionalities are there in home loan, personal loan, and car loan, their common properties we can define inside the loan class, that is super class, and some common behavior we can define. But top of that, we can define the interfaces. We can say loan interface, which will have all the common prototype which is required among all the classes. So on top we have loan interface. We will take that will have some common properties and behavior which is required for all these three classes. Then after loan interface, we can design abstract loan class. Suppose maybe some common behavior is there. which is same for home loan, personal loan, or car loan. So that common behavior I can define inside the abstract loan class. And then we will have these three concrete classes: home loan extends abstract loan, personal loan extends abstract loan, and car loan. And in that we will define the concrete behavior, that is a specific functionality which is required for these classes. So this is related to the loan, what we
Yeah.
can say.
So, okay, so let's say a third party wants to get the EMI. I mean, what class or what method they will call?
Okay, so third party means we have to expose this EMI calculation, right? So we can define suppose loan controller class. In controller class, we can define the URLs like service methods.
So, one second. So just like I mean, simple Java application. So, I'm talking like a web services. So, let's say the communication will be done within a Java application. So, there are different components. So, this is one module.
Okay.
Just think about, let's say, the third party is also Java client.
Okay. So, there will be loan service class. Okay. Then we can define loan some DAO. In place of taking whatever approach I told, we will take only bean classes for loan, and we can define loan DAO that contains the whatever database related functionalities are there. That code, that method prototype we will define in loan DAO interface. Then we can write loan.
So one thing that I mean, the class which will be exposed to a third party application, that that will be, which class that will be, or will it be some interface or a class?
Third party when we have.
So let's say
we have
an application.
Interfaces only.
Okay, so which interface? So that's what I'm actually looking for. The name of the interface. Let's say I'm the third party user or I'm a different application. Just want to use your module, and I need EMI from you. So I need to know which interface from your module is providing me that feature, right? And what is the method name? So that is what I'm looking for.
I think we can provide some loan service.
Loan service.
Loan servicing.
But you already created an interface. Then what use is of that interface? Why? Because we have a simple method over there implemented by different personal loan classes. Then why you need a separate service class for this? Can't you simply expose this interface and this method to the another application?
Yeah, we can expose that. Loan service we can use for internal purpose in our code.
Okay, so let's say you have exposed the interface to a third party. So what will be, I mean, which method it will contain or what parameter you will pass? Let's say, third party need to pass to get the EMI.
So, like they want to calculate the they want to calculate the EMI. So we can define the method like EMI means some amount will be there. Finally, so EMI means finally what we have to return the value, some double value, right? So we can define like public double calculate EMI that will take double amount as a type, double amount, and it is type is I think type of account. So we can define super class as a type. So we can use dynamic dispatch concept, and tenure we can define some months. If it is integer, we can define integer, or we can take double.
Okay. So that's fine. So, I mean, how your application will decide, let's say, call comes from third party and it says that I need a personal type of loan is personal, amount is, let's say, 2 lakhs and tenure is 2 months. So, how your application will decide which particular implementation needs to be called to, for this? When you will decide that? And I did that,
So, I think we can use some factory design pattern concept. In that, we can use like if the request is coming for inside the type, it will have what type of object they are looking for, which class implementation they want. So we can check if type contains home loan, then we can instantiate that class and related services we can provide. Similarly, we can do for personal loan also.
So that's fine. Now, let's say I want to extend my application and a new loan type comes in. Let's say the loan type is senior citizen loan. Okay. Now in senior citizen loan, what is happening? I mean, it's like the all other loans, but the problem here is it requires another parameter, and the parameter is the category of senior citizens. Based on the different categories, the loan EMI needs to be calculated because it varies. I mean, the interest rate varies for that. So now the third party or the different application will need to pass one more parameter. Right. So how you will adjust or adapt this particular
changes?
I mean, use case in your existing design.
Okay. We can segregate this to one more layer. I think we can use the abstract factory design pattern. Like we can create one more layer on top. Like abstract factory means it will return collection of factory. Like means we can create one home loan factory, personal loan factory, car loan factory, or in future if it comes for senior citizen, we can create. So one layer we can add before to that factory design pattern.
Yeah, that's fine. I got your point. But let's say as of now, you have one interface and the method you expose it calculate EMI, it was taken 3 parameters. Now, now as I told you that we'll have one more parameter. So you need to add that parameter to this loan method, but it will change all the implementing classes as well. You need to add that over there as well, right?
So we will not modify that method. We can add one more method in the interface, which takes like overloaded method, which will take one more whatever parameter is there.
Yeah. So
implementation will provide.
Yeah. So my question is like, that's again adding some more complexity to my application. So for third party, think about the different module. It need to find out that particular method I need to call every time, right? And let's say there are 3 more guys comes and they need, let's say some need 5 parameters, some need 2 parameters. So you will keep on adding the method. It will create the complexity and unnecessary line of code.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So is there any way that, I just don't want, that much complexity or that much polymorphism by just overloading methods for every use case? So just think about, what you can do to adapt it.
I think we have some adapter design pattern also.
So, do you know if you want to just put that here, what you will do for that? What you just, don't think about adapter pattern.
Actual method.
But again, that method needs to be, it will take some parameters, right?
Yeah, some parameters.
Yeah. So again, the same problem comes when you will call that method.
But if we add that before the actual method, I think that modification will be there at one place, like how we do in DAO. Means I don't need to if I expose the actual method to the client, if it changes later, then I have to modify everywhere in my code wherever it is used. But if I add one more layer on top of this and some other method, if I expose, I need to modify at one place.
Yeah, so this is, a bit better than the earlier one. So can't you do like this, just in your interface itself, instead of passing 1, 2, 3 or 4 parameters or 5 parameters, just pass a single request object, a kind of object which contains all the parameters which can be added or called by the client So you can add an n number of parameters. So based on whatever parameters are set,
Yeah.
so can't you do like that?
Yeah, we can do that. We can define
And
class.
you need not to change anywhere except your request object.
Yeah. Means we can
Okay.
take class as a parameter.
Okay, cool. I mean, I